Megan Turner is General Manager of PWHL Seattle. Megan, thank you so much for making time for us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Glenn.
Megan, I have come to learn that we can't really know your amazing journey without mentioning your close friend, roommate, and college teammate at Quinnipiac, Danielle Marmer. Many people go their whole lives without a bond like you and Danielle formed. In fact, after you moved in together, she said every day we would talk about everything. And Marmer once told Boston Bruins GM Don Sweeney she would trust her life to you. Pretty cool words.
I don't know why she says that. No, I'm kidding. She's yeah, a great friend. I feel very honored that she would say such kind words, and obviously feel the exact same way. Danielle's been just a fantastic friend to me throughout the years, a great mentor, especially throughout these past 2 years, and just someone who, I can bounce ideas off of. Obviously now it's a little bit different. We have to maintain some boundaries for sure, but just in getting up to speed with this role, she's been obviously instrumental in getting me here and helping me to kind of get up and running and getting my feet wet, I guess, in this role.
Did you know that you were Danielle's dad's favorite player? Not Danielle. You were Danielle's dad's favorite player when you were both growing up.
I think he's just saying that, but yes, I love Gary Marmer is a great guy. He and Danielle are very similar and both just great personalities. So yes, Gary has mentioned that to me a few times, but I'm not sure I believe him. I think deep down, Danielle was always his favorite player, obviously.
Well, what did he like about your game?
Oh, I don't know, honestly. He never told. Well, maybe he did, but it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. So maybe it was just being willing to get to the corners and go hard north. I don't know.
So, as the general manager of the Boston Fleet, Danielle offered you, and spoiler alert, you accepted the assistant GM position. And if I understand right, you got her letter offering you the job shortly before you left for Army National Guard training. So, if you would, tell us the story about that offer helped you get through the rigors of basic training.
Yeah, it was verbal, and it was like more, she was still kind of, I think, processing the transition from the Bruins because she had, she felt like she was just getting her feet under her there. But obviously couldn't turn down the opportunity to be a first time GM in this league, in a sport, especially in women's hockey, that she obviously cares so much about. So she kind of chatted with me while we were walking my dog, and I was like, well, I'm leaving in a week for 3 months with no access to the outside world. And yeah, I had 3 months to process. I won't say at all times because I was being welcomed very gently,
Oh,
sarcastically,
sure.
into the army. But I had 3 months to process what a major career transition it would be. And when I got back, I had the tough decision. Rubber kind of met the road as far as the tough decision to make. I didn't know if the role would still be available because it was still kind of early days before I left. So she wrote me a letter during basic training, just keeping me posted about who she signed, how the draft went, and that definitely raised my spirits a lot while I was there. I was looking at a lot of pictures of family and my dog and everything, and that letter was included in some of those mail pieces that kind of got me through, and just gave me something to really look forward to when I got home. So yeah, it was more verbal at first, and then had 3 months to kind of chew on the idea of making a major career transition out of something I thought I'd be doing for my entire career.
I'm going to embarrass you just one more time in a
Go
good
for it.
way with Danielle Marmer quotes. She predicted your meteoric rise. In 2024, she said, quote, she's going to take my job one day. I won't be surprised if she's the GM of an NHL team at some point.
She's too
And
humble.
she further described you as bright, organized, a leader, and culture driven. Do you also leap tall buildings in a single bound?
I don't know why she says these things, but I will take the compliments, and I will give them absolutely right back to her. Danielle is all those things and more too. So she obviously has already established herself, and it has been a great, like I said, just feel like a broken record, but I can't say it enough. She's been a great mentor to me, and I couldn't be here without her. And she's just someone that is such a great ambassador for the game, has a close relationship with our college coach as well, and just is making, you know, a great reputation for herself too, as a true professional.
You mentioned your consulting job at PricewaterhouseCoopers. What were your hockey executive ambitions? Did you have any?
Um, Maybe in the back of my mind, I did. I think in college, the professional women's game was getting a little bit more traction. The CWHL was still around. The then NWHL was just starting, and so I think there was a little more, you know, a little more talk and a little more traction of um, players coming out of college and having something else to do and keep playing. And so I kind of thought, yeah, maybe it would be cool one day to be involved in that. I didn't foresee myself playing forever, obviously, and so that was kind of the start of looking ahead. But it was more, I guess, a dream, you could say, as cliche as it is. And my reality was like, well, I need to go work in the business world for a while. And so I think I had, I don't want to say lost that dream. I did, but I didn't like plan on it, I guess you could say. I was kind of planning for my PwC career and looking ahead that way. But there was always a piece in the back of my mind that wanted to stay connected to this world. But I don't think I ever could have predicted this. Definitely not.
Yeah. Well, life is what happens to you while you're making other plans.
Exactly.
You and Danielle share something else in common. You two are far and away the youngest PWHL general managers. So, Megan, your background, Army National Guard, consulting firm work, your background suggests you're not someone who's easily intimidated, but dealing with more experienced counterparts has got to be a little intimidating, no?
um, I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it intimidating. I certainly can learn. You know, I don't think whether I'm, 65 and at the end of my career that I'm done learning. So I'll always, take lessons learned from anyone. And I would say I'm pretty observant too. So always kind of watching and learning and trying to absorb what the more seasoned GMs are doing and seeing if that's something that I think is right for my organization and for me. But everyone's got a different style. So I've worked with a lot of people that are more veteran than I am, back in the consulting world, and obviously through the Army too. So I feel like once you get out of college, everyone's just the same age, and we're all just trying to do our best. So I don't know if I'm intimidated, more so just recognize that we're all colleagues and kind of have one mission at the end of the day, individually to win a championship and together to make this league really great. So certainly happy to learn and take some lessons from them too.
Megan, you're going to say, well, it's about time. Let's talk about PWHL Seattle.
Sure.
NHL players who don't make their team out of camp can be assigned to the AHL or ECHL. What happens to players who don't make your roster? Because it's likely at some point you will need replacements for injuries or other reasons.
Yeah, so we do have reserve slots, and a lot of the players will play internationally too. There's some good international leagues that are really competitive as well. The SHL over in Sweden is great. So there are, not to say that it's, the players that don't play in the PWHL go over there. There's a lot of transferring from leagues, just depending on where players are at and where they want to play and the different teams they want to play with. So there are other options out there and available. And right now, obviously, it's the PWHL is the standing league in North America, but I have seen so far that the players that want to keep playing do go overseas or keep training locally. There's a lot of good people around, good trainers in North America that can keep players competitive. And you see a lot of players kind of come back to it year after year and try their hand too.
Have you figured out the practicing arrangements yet, the training camp arrangements, when you'll have ice time at Kraken Community Iceplex, stuff like that?
Yeah, we're working through all those details now. Obviously, there's 3 sheets of ice, and we're sharing the facility with the Kraken too. So we are just working through some of those details as far as ice times go to make sure that we are, both us and the Kraken have the preferred ice times and making sure that we're set up for success.
And what about your facilities, dressing room, etc., at Climate Pledge?
Yeah, so we did a tour actually when I was out there last, and can't say enough good things about Climate Pledge. It's a state-of-the-art facility. Like the sound system is booming. The event level rooms, dressing rooms, everything is really top notch. So they're definitely taking care of us as well at Climate Pledge. We're really excited to play there.
Do you have a dedicated space for a dressing room, for training area and all of that, or is that still in process?
It's still a little bit in process. We will have a dedicated space. We're just trying to figure out, there's a lot of rooms down there. So we're just trying to figure out where exactly we can kind of set up permanently. But there's plenty of space down on the event level for us to be able to operate. So it'll be good.
The Kraken are building a new iceplex on the east side of Seattle in Kirkland, scheduled to open in 2027. Can you shed any light on whether that might eventually be a practice home for you?
Yeah, I don't. I can't give any indication right now, mostly because I think there's still a little bit unknown just as far as the use goes there. So I'm not sure just yet, but I know that we've been looped into conversations around that construction. So certainly we'll continue to stay plugged in.
When I use terms like East Side and Kirkland, it reminds me to ask, have you had time to get to know the area? Are you moving? Have you moved in? Is everything in boxes right now? What's the status?
Yeah, so I actually have a bit of history out in Seattle, which is why it's actually kind of near and dear to my heart, obviously from just around Boston. So that's been my home for a long time. But Seattle has always been a city that I speak really highly of. I just love the culture out there. So I do know the area pretty well. Luckily, my wife was out there for a year, and then my sister-in-law lived there for 9 years. So we have been out there a number of times. So there's a lot of good different neighborhoods. I haven't decided just yet whether I just want to be close to the rink to work, or if I want to be a little bit more downtown to get a little bit different of a view. But it's still up in the air for right now. I'm trying to make sure the players get settled first, and then I'll kind of worry about myself later. But I have some neighborhoods, like Northgate's where we're playing at KCI, obviously practicing, and then kind of along the light rail there, that green line. I'll probably try to stick around there so I can use the public transit as much as possible.
And then you have a wife who gets a vote too.
Yeah. So there, for this year, we're going to keep our house in Boston, or just outside of Boston. My wife and daughter will stay here for the season, just because her whole family's here. So the support system is pretty limited. But we'll reevaluate after year one if anything needs to change. So she's been great and really supportive.
Now that you have a roster in place and a coach, we mentioned some of the things that you've been turning your attention to, but what other things fill your day, month of August, and will fill your day month of September? I know you don't have a typical day, but what are your days like?
Yeah, it's first and foremost just trying to continue to build out the staff. We're getting really close. We have a lot of great people on board, but didn't want to rush any hirings, because your people are your biggest asset. So wanted to make sure that we got the right people in place. So we're filling kind of the last head of department roles, and then we'll add in some assistant athletic trainer and things like that. So a lot of my day is personnel, still on the staff side, and then supporting the players as needed, whatever they need, as far as equipment goes and things of that nature. And then operationally, just a lot of making sure that we're getting up to speed, at KCI, and there's some modifications that we need to do to the space. So make sure that those are moving along. Any construction that we have going is moving smoothly. So it's a lot of irons in the fire, but all good things.
We previously mentioned your time at Price Waterhouse Coopers, and you played in 2 previous pro women's leagues, something you also mentioned, the CWHL and the PWHPA. The rotten part of that was you needed to keep your other job, consulting, because that was the one that paid the bills. Mm-hmm. How did you ever pull off that professional doubleheader?
What's the saying in college? They're like, you can choose 2 of 3: sleep, a social life, and homework, or something. I think it was the same. I chose, I probably sacrificed sleep the most, which is not super healthy, but it did the job. I wanted to continue playing. I had a lot of friends in the team, and I took a year off after college from playing, and I was like, just something was really missing, and the leagues were available, and I was like, why shouldn't I play, right? I'm still young. So it was a grind, certainly, but I wouldn't have done anything differently.
Well, how great is it though that your players now that you're overseeing won't have to do that if they don't want to?
It's that's the best part of all of it, right? Like, think about how peaking was, your senior year in college, maybe in the NCAA. And now players are probably not going to peak until their mid-20s, which just wasn't beyond the national teams. There wasn't an opportunity for players to continue to grow and get better, and develop through, their 20s and early 30s. And you can just see the longevity of some of the players already, and just the how good players are getting in their mid-20s, years after they've already graduated from college, where in the old days they might have had to go get a job and do something totally different. So I think that's the whole reason we're here, is to create that opportunity. And I think it's really cool that it's already materializing.
Just a couple of last things. Much as athletes might hate to admit it, crowd reaction really does affect performance. In an earlier interview that we did, because we're old buds now. Well, you're a bud, I'm the old. But you told me that during your playing days, quote, it's sometimes difficult to get on the ice and see those empty stands. So, have you allowed yourself to imagine the home opener at Climate Pledge Arena, which I guarantee will be an electric atmosphere with lots and lots of people?
I actually think about this. I think at least like 3 or 4 times a week. I'm just driving in the car. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Like, I think luckily the players now are used to, not in a bad way, right? In a great way. The expectation is a little different now, right? That there is engagement. We have a good fan base. So I am really, really excited to, for the players to come out and see full stands and a booming, 2 huge jumbotrons and a booming crowd. And I couldn't be more excited for them, because I know how much it would mean to me as a player. And so I can, especially for the younger ones, like coming out of college, coming from overseas, maybe first time playing in front of this many people. I think it's going to be a really, really special moment for them. And even for the ones who have played in front of big crowds before too, they're going to find their place in Seattle at home. So I think it's going to be a really cool experience for everyone.
And we'll close with this. You're supposed to play the national anthem at the beginning, but I'm going to play it at the end. So let's watch this 30-second clip.
Okay.
For the ramparts we walk, were so gallantly free, and the rockets reclaim the land of the free, and the
That's
Wow.
your first round draft pick, Jenna Buglioni.
What can't she do? That's awesome.
Well, I asked Jenna after I played that clip for her,
Yeah.
would you consider a repeat performance before a game at Climate Pledge Arena? And she went, I wouldn't be against it.
I'll text her right after this and see what her thoughts are.
Is there any chance that a GM, Megan Turner, and a coach, Steve O'Rourke, would even consider letting Jenna, if she was up for it, do either the Canadian or the U.S. national anthems before a PWHL Seattle game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to talk to our business team because they run the show, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think that's pretty cool. I mean, she can belt it out, so that's pretty awesome. No issues with me. How about that?
Okay. And when you're your interactions with Emily Brown, don't challenge her to a game of Monopoly.
No.
Okay, I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay.
She told me she's a bad Monopoly loser.
Okay. You know what? That's okay. It means she's competitive. We like that.
Oh. Megan, it has been a real pleasure, not just this time speaking to you, but all the time speaking to you. And the energy and your passion for all this just really comes through. And I hope that you will put up with me when I come see you in person and we do more of these interviews.
Yeah, happy to, Glenn. Always appreciate the coverage. Thanks for thanks for chatting with me. And it's always good for me as well. So I just love to keep talking about it. I could talk about it forever. So I'm happy to do it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.